Good day to you, gentle person on the internet, and thank you for joining me as we have a look at Master Healer Kale with Useless Party. This is an auto battler type of game. It is very cute. I enjoyed it greatly. I think for a good reason. We'll chat about that as we play. But first of all, let's just have a quick look at the options. Quality of life controls that I like to see. In the sound controls, I don't know what show total resource means, but we'll ignore that for the moment. And instead, we will jump in. We'll start a game. Unfortunately, I tried this on Firefox and it doesn't work on Firefox. It throws an error and then leaves the kind of Unity loading stuff in front of the rest of the game as the game is loaded. I did see people mentioning it in the comments, so the developer is aware of it and hopefully doing battle with Firefox at the moment. I have no idea if it works or not in Edge. I don't use Edge, I'm on Linux. But this is Chrome, and Chrome it works absolutely smoothly. So let's jump in. So we are in the tavern, and Kale will give us a little bit of a tutorial. Hey there, I'm Kale. I'm the best healer in this land. I got a quest from King Lemon the 14th to defeat the Demon King. Okay, Boomer, just get to the point. Right. Let's learn a spell by clicking on this node. So we click on the node here. It will cost us 1 gold, and it is the usual thing where we, start the progression tree, the incremental progression tree. This is heal. It restores a small amount of health to an ally. It costs us 10 mana. It heals for 30 health. Casting time is 2 seconds, the cooldown is 2 seconds. So we purchased that. I will note, as I'm just remembered, that this is a demo, so like balance and all of that kind of stuff I think is still being worked on to a certain degree. It's pretty good, it's pretty well balanced, but I did finish the demo without getting more than like halfway through the progression tree, so there's a lot of content still to be made available in the full game. We'll have a look at the itch.io page after we finish playing a bit. Great, now I can use a basic heal to support my team. Let's go to battle. Has he got anything else to say? Let's start with something easy. We have an easy quest to defeat the goblins. Click on this to start the battle. Alright, that's all he has to say to us. And we click on it to start the battle. So this is us. We are the healer, Kale, over there. We have a mage who is on a broom. Fair enough. We have an archer and we have a tank. The tank is unfortunately asleep. Alright team, let's start our journey and gain some experience. Nice to meet you, Mr. Healer. My name is Clip-On, the archer. So presumably we just done a pickup group and we have been picked up by this group and we have formed a team with them. Possibly even a guild if we get lucky. Nice to meet you, Mr. Healer. My name is Clip-On the Archer. I thought you were the best healer. Didn't you just learn a basic heal back in the tavern? This is Madeline, I believe, who gives us attitude. Just do your job and I'll do mine, Madeline. Madeline. Grandpa Bagel. So that is our tank, and that is his name's Grandpa Bagel. Is our tank asleep? I am doomed. Right, so we have a heal selected. Our people will start blasting away at the enemies. We need to heal the tank. And we also have mana down our bottom left. We only have 50 mana, and there's no way to recover it in this current version of the game. So we need to be careful with how much we use it. I like to heal the tank when it gets down to about half health. Alright, so we have defeated our first set of enemies and we got given some money for it. And let's run 2 heals on the tank here. Boost him up as we are getting beaten up quite badly. Let's run 3 heals on the tank here. And a 4th heal, I think. We are actually going to run out of mana and not be able to finish this mission. But that's fine, let's get as far as we can. I cannot heal anymore, but I think we're about to finish these guys. Unfortunately, we're now fighting the boss of this particular run, who is going to beat us up because I can't heal anymore. Not enough mana. And yeah, the tank is down. Our friends are down. Right, so we collected 10 gold and 1 kind of party currency. That's how I sort of name that. So we can go back to the tavern and we can spend our gains. Right, so we are looking at our upgrade tree. We can either sink more money into... Oh, no, that's heal 1 out of 1. I think over here we can boost our heal with gold. So that's our gold currency there. So that's the only thing we can spend our gold on. So we might as well purchase that. So heal does a bit more health. And we can give ourselves some more mana. So plus 10 mana. And that will help a little bit. And now we have one of these... I suppose skill points, I think it's calling them. I just think of them as like party points. We can either spend it on giving Clip-On a bit more damage, or Madeline a bit more damage. And I don't know if it matters which you choose. She gets plus 5 damage while he gets plus 3, but I think he fires a bit faster, so it's probably much the same. I don't know. Anyway, I go with the fireball damage because fireball. And that's all we can do at this point. And we can also check out our options. So that's there. That's just our money, golden skill points. That zooms out the skill tree a little bit. It actually gets pretty big with the way it spreads out. As we go back in, let's do a bit more battle. We'll run through this quest again. We're blasting that goblin. We're smacking him. And we can heal our tank, I think. We basically get 1 extra heal, but our heal's also doing a bit more work, so I don't know if it'll allow us to actually finish this mission, but we should be able to get a little bit further. Really does bring back the good old times, because I was a healer in WoW for a good couple of years. I did like playing the healing class, and yeah, this is fun. Oh no, we've run out of mana again. I got too excited there. I didn't think we would run out before we even got here. Come on, hit that guy so at least we can get the gold for him. There we go. A little bit of extra gold. And then he does a charge up sort of mega attack as well, which will annihilate us. Yeah. Alright, so we did get a bit of extra gold and a good few extra experience points for our team. So what we can do is we can boost Clip-On's damage so he can hit a little bit harder, and we can boost our tank's armor so he can absorb a bit more damage. In fact, we can do it twice. And then with our money we can make our spell a bit more effective, I suppose. We really need more mana. Also, once we've defeated the boss, we get, just for the first time, we get a ruby, and that gives us actually 2 new spells and a couple of other things that we can spend rubies on. But there are only, I think, 4 like stages in this demo, so not too much of that. But yeah, that's what that currency is a ruby. It's a 3rd currency, which we might actually be able to get this run through, but I'm not too sure about it. Let's see. Alright, not a bad run. Our hero's a little bit tougher. These guys are doing quite a bit less damage to him, which is nice to see. Let's give him a heal just to keep him topped up. I hate wasting the heal, over healing, as we used to call it. I think they still do call it that. Alright, yeah, much better. I think we might actually be able to do this time. think we'll just fend off this first battle, and that will be it for the gameplay showcase. But yeah, I do have some critiques to give the game. Oh, here it comes. Can I whack him? Yeah, but didn't do that much damage. I didn't even really need to heal him. I think that's a bit of overheal there, actually. But it doesn't matter. We've clearly won this. I'm gonna take down the leader. And that's it. So we got a nice big chunk of gold, a good bit of experience, and our first ruby. Back to tavern. Alright, so deciding what we can spend ourselves on. Well, we definitely need more mana, so let's get that. Unfortunately, we can't buy 2 blobs of that. We can reset the skill tree, but that seems to be a waste to spend money on because I don't really need to do that. We can speed how quickly we can cast our heal, but only once because I want to boost how much the healing does. We can spend more skill points on making our tank tougher. That's a pretty good thing to do. And I'm not going to spend the first ruby just yet. We'll save it until our next stage. Let's play one more battle so we can see the new thing. It auto goes to the new thing for us, but we can go back and select our previous space if we want to. Let's see how well we do here. Clipon, I've been wondering, how long have you been an archer? Your shots sometimes go backward, and yet they still hit the target. Must have been beginner's luck. Let's see, maybe like 2 or 3 days before I got summoned by the king. He said that he needed an archer for a newly assembled party. That answers a lot of questions that I really didn't want to hear. Alright, so we have a novice archer, but then we're a novice healer as well, as was pointed out by Madeline at the beginning. Wasted that one archer shot there because he was shooting at the target that Madeline just killed. Nevertheless, we have smacked these guys down pretty well without too much damage being done to Grandpa Bagel. But now we have 4 enemies, so they're going to be hitting us quite a bit harder. Better get a heal in there. We might actually do this. Pop a heal on him because we are quite low. There we go. Oh, and we've maxed out our health. I hope that wasn't too much overheal. Yeah, these guys hit a lot harder. Oh, he's going for a big one. But he only took down like half our health, so that's fine. His regular attack actually hits quite hard. Oh. Oh, we've only got one more heal left in us. Come on, burn him down faster, guys. 50 DKP minus. Yeah, no, we're fine. Alright, straight through to the next guy. Suggests to me a little bit of a balance issue there, because we shouldn't be able to just burn through the second stage in our first time. They need to be made a little bit more tougher, I suppose. Anyway, that is it. That is all of the gameplay I'm going to show. So if you are just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like or dislike. Don't forget to comment, because comments are incredibly valuable to both me and to you, I believe. And hit that subscribe button if you want to see more indie games reviewed, because that's what we do around here. We show people indie games so that people come and play them, and stop giving too much money to the big AAA studios, because they really don't deserve it. So yeah, thank you, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you're sticking around for the critiques, well, firstly, I want to say I really love this game. It tickles a little bit that old experience that I had for for healing back in the day when I was mostly WoW, and I played a few other MMOs as well, and I was definitely tended to gravitate to the healer role. I liked it a lot. I also did DPS a fair bit, but the healer was the one that I found the most satisfying, and this game touches on that a little bit. And I really think what this game needs is to lean on that a bit more. Have the party complain about the healer, and then give the healer compliments when things go right. You want that kind of balance. You want that sense of interaction with the party, who are being aware of what an important role the healer is, because that was often quite missing from actually being the healer. You only got yelled at when things went wrong, even though it was usually the DPS pulling aggro, which might not mean anything to any of you who haven't played an MMO, but nevertheless, trust me, it's if there was a maximum, if the tank died, it's the healer's fault. If the healer dies, it's the tank's fault, and if the DPS dies, it's the DPS's fault, because there's an aggro mechanic where the tank tries to generate aggro, in other words, to try and get the enemies to attack the tank, because he has the most kind of damage mitigation, and the healer can then focus on keeping the tank alive. But now damage does aggro, so if the DPS damage too quickly, then they pull the aggression of the enemy units, and they have a lot less mitigation, so they take a lot more damage a lot quicker. And that's when, as a healer, you're now trying to panic and heal the DPS, even though you shouldn't be healing them, and you do excessive healing, and then you pull aggression, because healing also generates aggression, and everything then sort of cascades to a fail at that point, and everybody dies, and you have a total party wipe, and forced to reset, and then everybody yells at each other and blames everybody else for their thing. The ideal, of course, is to have an absolutely excellent tank who can keep aggro even when the DPS go all out. But a lot of MMOs are designed that isn't actually possible. The DPS have to be careful about how much damage they can do, and you're running that fine line between doing as much damage as you can do without pulling aggro. And there were sort of complex add-ons that people made for WoW and for other MMOs that allowed it, that sort of carefully measured who has aggro and how much damage is being done and things like that. Your damage meters and your aggro meters and things like that. So as a player, if you took it really seriously and you were running the big dungeons, three-quarters of your screen was just covered with all these meters, and it became like a numbers game, which was still fun in its way, but I suppose did lose a little bit of the point of playing an RPG MMO. It became all about the numbers, but yeah, they countered that by trying to make the fights more technically complex, so you had to move in certain things and switch your targets and all of that kind of stuff. So you were still interacting with the logic of the fight, and you had to learn the safety dance, which is when bits of the floor would catch on fire and you'd want to step in the fire, and the guild leader would yell at you if you stood in the fire, all of that kind of stuff. And it was fun. It was a deeply enjoyable experience, and I think this game has the potential to touch on that a bit. It needs more mechanics about the safety dance and all of that kind of stuff. It needs more mechanics where it needs aggro meter. So I know in the third sort of battle stage, you have units that then can attack the other people, and that's why you have a party heal that you can unlock here. It means you can heal the rest of the party because they start taking damage, and obviously they take a lot more damage because they don't have the tank's armor and things like that. But it would have been nice if that was wrapped around an actual aggro thing, and you were able to tell them to tone down their damage. Maybe it's a button you have to keep clicking to tell them to calm down a bit, so that they don't get aggro, so that they don't take damage. Resurrect that old argument here in the game, because I think that'll trigger a lot of nostalgia for people who've played healer in the past, and it'll be an interesting mechanic for people who haven't played a healer in MMOs and stuff like that. But I think it would be a fun element to add to the game. But just to run through the basic critiques, the UI is absolutely fine. It's good looking. The sounds are fine. I think they didn't wow me, but they're absolutely acceptable for the way the game goes. The artwork is good. I love the way the characters look, and everything's very cute. It would be nice to be able to see the characters over here, especially because you can unlock their where is it? Here. We haven't unlocked it yet, but it's a thing weirdly that you can purchase that will then show their stats here in the what they call the tavern. I'm not quite sure why you had to purchase that, but nevertheless, it was something you could purchase and you could show their stats. It would be nice if you clicked on them and it showed an image of the character as well. I don't remember if it does or doesn't. As this is the tavern, it would be nice if there was a more tavern-y background, and then this was a menu that you would click and pop up, and you could sort of talk to your party here. I don't know if that's the intention for the full game, but would be quite pleasant. Yeah, other than that, I think the game looks quite fine, and the basic gameplay is great. You're a healer, you have to click heals on your party members, and then the rest is an auto battler. That's perfectly solid gameplay, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And really, I mean, you know, my final critique is always about the lore and things like that, and especially a game like this, a game in a kind of a fantasy setting, really does rest heavily on the lore ideas. So I would love more ideas, maybe emerging through conversations with the other party members and things like that, of like that conversation with was his name Capel? Clip-on. Capel. With Clip-on, where he talks about how he was just, you know, he's just been added to the group or whatever, because of the king requesting a new party to be assembled. You know, that I think that needs to be fleshed out a lot more. And I know this is just the demo, but that's a good place to put, you know, lore, not so that the player has to struggle through it, but just so it's accessible to the player, because that is what will compel attention of a lot of players into your full game, because they want to know where the lore goes. They want to, you know, they get invested in the player characters, and they want to see the story. So yeah, so I would heartily recommend lumping some lore into this, for your setting, for your player characters, and for the enemies as well, for that matter, and just make it so that people want to see where the story goes, not just where the gameplay goes. Do not underestimate the power that has in making a game that is both good and compelling. And I think that's it from me. So thank you for watching. The link is in the description, so come and give the dev some love, give it some ratings there on the Itch.io page, and yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.